Imagine this. The sun's dipping below the horizon, forest is all gold and orange, you're pedaling that last stretch to camp. Legs are aching, yeah, but your spirit's high, right? And you're just thinking about a good night's sleep under the stars. That's the magic of bikepacking. The thrill of the ride, the peace of nature, all rolled into one. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something really crucial for any multi-day bike adventure. Choosing the right sleep system. And it's not just, where you lay your head. It's about comfort. It's about safety, waking up feeling, refreshed and ready for another day on the trail. Feeling like $1 million, basically. Maybe you're prepping for your very first bikepacking trip, feeling that mix of excitement and maybe a little bit of, uh-oh, what do I actually need? Or maybe you're a seasoned rider looking to upgrade, or just super curious about how people actually sleep comfortably out there in the wild. So our mission today: simplify the options, highlight the benefits, share some practical tips, and help you picture the perfect setup for your next adventure. We'll even kind of follow along with, let's call him Alex, our fictional bikepacker, planning a dream route through the rugged Sierra Nevada, thinking about these exact choices. Okay, well, let's unpack this. Because when it's time to rest those worry bones after a long day cycling, the sleeping options, they're as diverse as the trails Alex wants to conquer.
It's so true. And your choice of sleep system, it really does more than just affect your sleep. It impacts the entire bikepacking experience. Think about it. It's foundational. It affects your pack weight, how fast you set up camp, how adaptable you are to, different environments, changing weather. For Alex, planning for those unpredictable mountain conditions, this choice is going to define a lot of their comfort and safety out there.
Absolutely, really sets the tone. So where do we start? I guess for most people, the first thing that pops into mind when you say sleeping outside is the tent, right? The trusty tent. It's kind of the MVP of camping gear for generations. And, for good reason. Think of it like your little portable house in the wilderness, your bubble. Let's dig into why tents are so popular. The biggest draw, I think, has to be the comprehensive protection. Picture Alex, right? Battled headwinds all day, pulls into camp, dark clouds roll in, sudden downpour, wind kicks up. Inside that tent, totally sealed up. Modern tents, they're designed with these amazing waterproof fabrics, sturdy poles. It's a complete barrier. Keeps out rain, wind, even curious critters.
Yeah, raccoons, maybe bigger things, depending on where you are.
Exactly. And that fine mesh that is your force field against mosquitoes at dusk, or those tiny biting gnats that just ruin an evening.
Oh, yeah.
So you stay dry, sheltered, undisturbed. You can actually recover.
Yeah.
And beyond just the elements, tents give you this great sense of privacy and security. After a long day pedaling, maybe through remote spots, it's just comforting to zip yourself into your own space. You can change clothes, sort your gear for tomorrow, read a bit without worrying about who or what might wander by.
That enclosed feeling, it's a real psychological comfort, especially if you're new to sleeping outside. It feels like a sanctuary.
Yeah, it really does. And then there's the versatile pitching. This is a big one for bikepacking. You can pitch a tent pretty much anywhere you find a relatively flat spot. You don't need perfectly spaced trees like some other options we'll talk about.
Right, no specific terrain features needed.
Exactly. If Alex finds a level patch forest, meadow, lakeside, they can probably set up. Huge flexibility when you're tired and the light's fading. You're not quite so limited by the immediate surroundings.
That versatility and that foundational security, those are definitely the big draws, especially for beginners or if you're heading into unpredictable weather. But like everything, there's a trade-off. And with tents, especially for bikepacking, it's often weight and bulk. Modern tents are incredibly light compared to what they used to be, sure, but they're still usually one of the heaviest, bulkiest things in your kit.
Oh yeah, every ounce counts on those climbs.
Totally. And the bulk, it takes up serious space in your bike bags. You really have to think about how you distribute that load.
Okay.
For Alex, with limited space on the bike, fitting a tent might mean leaving something else behind. Then there's the setup time. Okay, maybe it's only 5-10 minutes in the backyard. But after riding 60-80 miles, maybe through rain or wind, those few minutes can feel like forever.
Oh, I've been there. Legs are screaming, your bike just want to be done.
Exactly. Fiddling with poles and stakes feels like a massive chore. Delays dinner, delays rest. And finally, the sneaky one. Condensation, the bane of many campers.
Yes.
It happens because of the temperature difference, right?
Yeah.
Warm, moist air inside from your breath, your body heat hits the cooler tent fabric.
And bam, water droplets.
Exactly. You can wake up with a damp sleeping bag, damp gear. Not fun. Ventilation helps, of course, but in humid conditions or cold, still nights, it can still be a battle.
Yeah, soggy sleeping bag is definitely not how you want to start a day of riding. Okay, practical tips for tent users then. If you're serious about a tent for bikepacking, you really, really want to prioritize ultralight tents. Grams matter. Hugely. We're talking models like, say, the Big Agnes Copper Spur, the Nemo Hornet. They're engineered to be as light as possible, often around 2 pounds, maybe even less for a one person.
Which is incredible for a full shelter.
It really is. And their pack size is tiny, designed to fit in a handlebar, roll, or frame bag without taking over completely. But don't despair if the budget doesn't stretch that far. A basic tent from like Walmart or Target, still a totally golden option.
Absolutely.
It'll be heavier, yeah, maybe 5-6 pounds, a bit bulkier, but it provides that crucial shelter. Accessibility is key here. You can get out there without spending a fortune on everything.
That's such an important point. Don't let gear costs stop you from starting.
Exactly. Get out there. And here's a pro tip, often overlooked, but a total game changer. Use a footprint.
Oh, yes. Crucial.
It's just a ground cloth that goes under your tent floor.
Yeah.
You can buy one made for your tent or DIY it. Polycryo, sheeting that window insulation film, super light. Or even just some tarp scraps. Why is it so important? It protects that delicate tent floor from rocks, sticks, damp ground, prevents punctures, tears, extends the tent's life.
And keeps moisture from seeping up, which adds to comfort too. Less dampness inside.
Right. It's a sacrificial layer that saves your expensive tent floor.
Yeah.
Seriously, use one.
That is a really valuable tip. So connecting this back, tents offer that baseline comfort and security. Predictable, enclosed, great for beginners, bad weather. It lets Alex maybe worry less about the shelter and focus more on the ride. The trade-off, packability and weight. That's the constant equation in bikepacking, balancing security with efficiency.
Okay, so what if wrestling tent poles and hunting for flat ground after 80 miles sounds less than ideal? Or maybe you often ride through really uneven, wet terrain. Maybe it's time for a totally different approach. Imagine this instead, floating effortlessly between two trees. Cradled, swaying gently, totally off the damp, lumpy ground. That's the hammock system. Could be a radical alternative for Alex in the potentially rocky Sierra. And the first thing that hits you with hammocks, how lightweight and compact they are. It's kind of crazy.
It really is remarkable.
Some ultralight models, under a pound, often way lighter than even the lightest tents. And they pack down tiny, like water bottle size, maybe smaller.
Excellent for minimalist setups. Frees up so much bag space.
Alex could easily tuck one away, leaving room for more food, extra layers, whatever.
Yeah.
And the setup. Effortless setup, usually. Compared to a tent, anyway.
Yeah, no poles, no staking generally.
Just wrap straps around 2 trees, clip the hammock in, done. It's a breeze. And you don't need that perfectly flat ground. Huge advantage in uneven, rocky, sloped areas where a tent just wouldn't fly.
Find 2 solid trees, the right distance apart, you've got a campsite, even if the ground below is a mess.
Exactly. Which leads to the comfort and adaptability, that feeling of floating, swaying. It can be incredibly relaxing after a hard ride. It cradles you differently than a flat pad, eliminates pressure points for some people. It's a unique sleep experience.
And fantastic ventilation on warm nights with air all around you.
Definitely.
It is fascinating how hammocks just completely changed the game regarding the sleeping surface. Uneven ground, not an issue, which, as you said, shifts the focus. Alex isn't looking for flat ground anymore. They're looking for trees.
Right. Tree cover becomes the primary factor.
But that highlights the obvious limitation. Tree dependency. Simple as that. No trees, no dice.
Yeah. Open fields, high alpine deserts above tree line, rocky treeless areas.
Yeah.
Your hammock's kind of useless as shelter there.
It requires a different kind of planning. You need to know your route and the likely vegetation. And the other big challenge, especially when it gets cooler, that cold air beneath you.
Ah, yes. Cold butt syndrome.
Exactly. Affectionately named, maybe. Air circulates all around, including underneath. Even a warm sleeping bag gets compressed under your weight, losing insulation. Cold air whisks your heat away.
So you need extra insulation below you. It's not optional if it's cool. Which brings us straight to countering that. Essential insulation is absolutely crucial. You need something underneath. Usually that means an underquilt, like a special sleeping bag that hangs outside underneath the hammock. Creates an insulating air gap. Works brilliantly.
Or you can put a sleeping pad inside the hammock with you.
Yeah, that works too, though some find it fiddly to keep in place. But both create that vital insulating layer. Keeps you toasty. And types of hammocks. You've got options. Most common is the gathered end hammock. Think Eno double nest, warbonnet blackbird, classic cocoon feel, super comfy for most.
Very popular, yeah.
But if you're a side sleeper or just prefer flatter, a bridge hammock like the Haven tent might be better. It uses spreader bars to create a much flatter sleeping platform. More like a bed.
Different feel entirely.
And remember, a hammock system isn't just the hammock, you need accessories. A rain tarp is essential, keeps you dry. Lots of shapes, hex, rectangle, catenary cut for perfect coverage.
And a bug net. Non-negotiable in many places. Turns your open hammock into a protected cocoon. Some are integrated, some are separate.
Lifesaver. And finally, a big tip. Master your setup. Don't just sling it up any old how.
There's an art to the hang.
Totally. Practice at home. Aim for that 30-60-degree strap angle. That's the sweet spot for a comfy, flattish lay. Lets you lie diagonally, which is way more comfortable.
Like tuning a guitar, but for your bed.
Exactly. Get that angle right. You avoid pressure points. Get a stable hang. You don't want to be figuring that out exhausted in the dark.
That tuning analogy is perfect. It really shows hammocks need a bit more finesse than just rolling out a tent.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? They redefine the sleeping surface, turn bad ground good, but shift the challenge to finding trees. For Alex in the Sierras, it means studying forest density on maps, not just contour lines for flat spots.
Totally different mindset.
Yeah, and it raises that question, are you planning routes specifically for trees?
Uh-huh.
Or accepting you might need a backup ground shelter for treeless sections? It really makes you engage with the environment differently.
Okay, let's shift gears. For the real less is more crowd, the gram counters, the speed demons, let's talk bivy sacks. Basically, a waterproof, breathable cocoon for your sleeping bag. Super low profile, perfect for stealth camping. Minimalist to the core, the huge draw, feather light and ultra compact. It's insane. Some models, 6 ounces, less than your phone.
Pack down to the size of a soda can, maybe smaller, tuck them anywhere, frees up so much space. Huge plus for Alex trying to keep the bike light for those climbs.
Yeah.
An instant setup. Seriously. No pitching, no poles, no stakes. Roll it out, slide your bag in, hop in, zip up, done.
Ultimate quick shelter, great for a fast nap or if weather hits suddenly.
Exactly. And that low profile makes them great for stealth camping. They
Yeah.
just blend in, much less visible than a tent.
Ideal if Alex needs to camp discreetly near a trail or populated area, just disappear.
Yeah.
Connecting that to the bigger picture, the bivy really is the essence of ultralight. Strips away everything non-essential, pushes the boundary of what shelter truly means. But that minimalism comes at a price. Limited space, it is tight in there.
Oh, yeah. No sitting up, reading, changing clothes easily. Can feel like a sleeping bag straitjacket.
Definitely not for the claustrophobic. And all your gear stays outside, exposed unless you cover it somehow. Needs planning.
Right. And then there's that recurring theme. Condensation. Again.
Even with fancy breathable fabrics like Gore-Tex or Event.
Which let vapor out, but keep rain out.
Right. But in that tiny confined space, your breath, your sweat, it can still build up inside, especially in humid or cold, still air, like a mini greenhouse.
Leading to a damp sleeping bag, which is bad news, especially for down insulation. Makes you colder.
It's a constant battle to manage.
Okay, practical tips for bivy users. Definitely prioritize those high-quality, breathable, waterproof fabrics. Gore-Tex, Event, Pertex, Shield. That breathability is crucial for managing condensation. And look for one with a mosquito net at the face opening. Tiny feature, huge impact. Lets you get airflow, keep bugs off when it's warm without being totally sealed in or totally exposed.
Absolutely vital little detail.
And critically, pair your bivy with a sleeping pad. Always. Non-negotiable.
Not just for comfort from lumps, for warmth.
Exactly. The ground sucks heat away. Conduction. No matter how warm your bag is, without a pad, you'll get cold. The pad is your insulation barrier from the earth.
Essential.
And here's a great way to upgrade the bivy experience. Toss a lightweight tarp over it.
Ah, the hybrid system. Smart.
Yeah. Creates a fantastic setup. The tarp gives extra rain dew protection, a dry spot for gear next to you, maybe a windbreak. Massively boosts comfort and versatility. Lets you cook under shelter, chill out a bit. Doesn't add much weight, but adds a lot of livability. Alex might go for this for a fast overnight with maybe a chance of light rain.
That hybrid approach really does blend the best aspects. And it shows how the bivy embodies that ultralight philosophy. Strips it all back. The trade-off is comfort, space. It forces you to consider your personal tolerance for minimalism. How much do you value shedding grams versus having room to move, staying perfectly dry?
Requires some mental toughness, yeah.
Definitely. A willingness to embrace the elements more directly.
Okay, moving from the ultra-minimalist bivy, let's talk tarps. Tarps are kind of the wild card, right? Like a blank canvas for shelter, ultimate versatility. With some creativity, trekking poles, trees, your bike, you could whip up a custom setup for almost any situation. Offers amazing adaptability for Alex facing varied terrain. Main benefit, super lightweight. Again, competing for the lightest option. Some advanced tarps are well under a pound. Huge plus for keeping the bike light.
Very appealing from a weight perspective.
But the real magic is their endless adaptability. Truly a blank canvas. You can pitch them dozens of ways. Low to the ground in a storm like a fortress.
Batten down the hatches.
Exactly. Or pitch it high for a breezy hangout on a nice evening. Use trees, rocks, poles, your bike. Tailor it exactly to the conditions, the site, your preference. Freedom other shelters don't offer.
And that open, airy feel. You're much more connected to the outside. Great views, amazing ventilation, wonderful on warm, dry nights. Truly immersive.
Feels great.
It is fascinating how tarps demand more from you, though. A deeper understanding of the environment, not skills. Site selection. It's not just setting up gear, it's creating shelter by interacting with your surroundings. But the big catch, bug and critter exposure. It's an open structure, warm nights, bugs will crash the party.
Oh yeah, mosquitoes, flies, spiders.
Unless you add a bug net insert or pair it with a bivy underneath like we talked about, you're exposed. Big consideration in buggy areas. And pitching skills required. It's not like a tent with color-coded poles. Pitching a tarp well takes practice.
Definitely need to know your knots. Taut line hitch is your friend.
Right. Getting lines tensioned correctly, choosing the right pitch for the wind, dealing with rain runoff. It's challenging, especially when you're tired or the weather's bad. Not ideal for total beginners without practice.
You definitely don't want your first knot tying lesson to be during a thunderstorm. Okay, practical tips. Material choice is key. Look for durable, light stuff like Silnylon. That's silicone nylon. Great strength, sheds water like crazy. Or the really fancy stuff. Dyneema composite fabric, DCF, used to be called Cuban fiber.
Exceptionally light, incredibly strong, tear-resistant, the ultralight gold standard.
Yeah, brands like Z-Packs, Hyperlight Mountain Gear use it. Key to getting that sub-pound weight. And for the tinkerers, huge DIY potential with tarps. We'll hit this more later, but you can make effective tarps from common materials. Great way to save cash, customize.
Very empowering.
Most importantly, practice makes perfect. Cannot stress this enough. Practice pitching at home. A-frame, diamond, lean-to pyramid. Learn them all. Understand guidelines, tension, site selection. Become a tarp pro. Ensures you get a stable shelter when Alex is out there facing whatever the Sierra throws at them. It's a skill that pays off big time.
That commitment to practice is everything. And it highlights how tarps push you beyond just buying gear. They demand you develop real wilderness skills, not tying, reading the wind, understanding drainage. You're not just setting up equipment, you're actively creating shelter with the environment. Which raises the question, are you willing to invest the time to master those skills for ultimate flexibility and weight saving?
It's a commitment for sure.
Rewarding, but requires dedication. Not for everyone, but amazing for those who embrace it.
Okay, now for something really interesting on specific routes. Could be a game changer for Alex's Sierra trip if they're on the right trail. If you're riding through areas with boothies or wilderness huts like parts of the UK, Scotland especially, some US national parks, the Alps, you might not need to carry shelter at all.
Completely changes the gear equation.
Right, let's define these. Boothies, huts, basically remote, unlocked shelters, old shepherd's huts, renovated barns, purpose-built cabins, often maintained by volunteers, free to use, simple structures for overnight stays. The massive benefit, no gear to carry, obvious but huge. Imagine Alex rolling into camp, tired, and just walking into a building instead of untacking a tent.
Ultimate bikepacking luxury. Saves so much weight and hassle, makes climbs easier, extends your range.
It's kind of magic.
Yeah.
And you get built-in shelter, a roof, dry floor waiting for you, a guaranteed reprieve from the elements without any setup effort.
Removes a big variable from your day. Lets Alex focus more on the ride, the scenery, less on finding and making camp, like a little haven waiting.
Often in stunning locations, too.
Definitely. Connecting this back, using both these in huts, it transforms the trip. Feels more like a pilgrimage sometimes, connecting with history, a community using shared resources. It's a different kind of freedom from carrying weight, but it comes with its own planning needs. The main catch, rarity and location specific.
Yeah, they're not everywhere. Concentrated in specific regions. Scottish Highlands, Alps, certain trails. Limits where you can rely on this strategy. Alex can't assume they'll find them everywhere.
And there's unpredictability. They're often first come, first served. Might be packed, especially in season. Might be rough.
Basic, maybe not spotless. No guarantees of space or pristine conditions. You might be sharing with strangers. Need to be cool with communal living.
Which leads to the golden rule. Always have a plan B. Always.
Unnegotiable.
If the hut's full, damaged, locked, whatever, Alex needs a backup. A small tarp, a bivy, a plan to ride on. Relying solely on them is risky.
Super risky. Okay, practical tips. Research is key. Absolutely essential. Check maps, guidebooks, online groups like the Mountain Bivies Association in the UK, park websites, find locations, conditions, any rules or etiquette before you go. Don't rely on finding one that's miles off route or closed.
Know what to expect.
And remember your essential minimums. These places are bare bones but beautiful. Usually just roof, walls, maybe a sleeping platform or fireplace.
So you still need your sleeping pad for insulation, sleeping bag for warmth. You're bringing your bed, just not the house.
Exactly. Plus cooking gear, water filter, food. They offer shelter, not full service. Alex still needs their sleep system core, just not the outer layer.
That planning and essential gear point is crucial. So using both these offers freedom from shelter weight, but trades guaranteed privacy and predictability. Shifts the focus to leveraging shared resources. Requires more planning, community spirit, understanding the rules, both written and unwritten. Shows again how sleep systems shape the adventure itself.
Okay, sometimes. Sometimes you just got to roll with it. Long day, sun setting, clear forecast, maybe just your sleeping bag and a ground cloth is the whole setup.
The bare bones approach.
Yeah. Ultimate minimalist option. Raw connection to the wild. Alex might plan this for a high-ridge bivouac under a clear moon, maybe. The appeal. Zero shelter weight. Literally just your bag and maybe a tiny ground sheet like polycryo or a space blanket. Lightest possible option. Makes the bike feel super nimble. Liberating.
Max speed, max efficiency.
And you get that ultimate connection to nature. Directly under the stars, nothing between you and the sky. Hear everything, feel the breeze. Truly immersive, primal experience. Especially on a perfect, clear, warm night.
It definitely tests your resilience and adaptability, though. It's less a system, more pure survival strategy, really relying on predicting the environment perfectly. The massive catch. Full exposure, wide open, weather, bugs, lumpy ground, cold ground.
Totally dependent on perfect conditions. Clear skies, no wind, no rain chance, minimal bugs. If anything changes unexpectedly, Alex has zero protection.
Sudden sprinkle, mosquito swarm, nowhere to hide, no buffer from chill, or even just the morning sun waking you up at dawn.
Yeah. And comfort is imperative. Even here, a thick insulating sleeping pad is absolutely mandatory.
Not just for cushion, for warmth. Ground conduction will steal your heat fast without it. Doesn't matter how warm your bag is, if it's compressed and the ground is cold. The pad is vital.
Critical difference between rough and dangerous. So tips for ground sleepers. This is for specific conditions. Warm, dry nights, emergencies only. Not a reliable go-to for varied conditions or long trips.
Alex needs a 100% clear forecast and a nearby backup plan. Always think, what if?
And for ground protection, use that thin ground sheet. Space blanket, polycro. Keeps your expensive bag clean, dry, adds a tiny bit of barrier. Super light, worth carrying.
It really does raise the question of resilience, doesn't it? How much are you willing to rely purely on conditions and your own toughness? It highlights the need to truly know your environment and your limits. No safety net.
Okay, now for the fun part, for tinkerers, savers, customizers, let's get creative. For the crafty camper, DIY gear. Saves money, often cuts weight, and honestly, so satisfying using gear you made yourself. I bet Alex is already looking into some hacks.
It's empowering.
Totally. The philosophy behind DIY, few core benefits. First, cost savings. Can be massive. High-end ultralight gear is pricey. DIY slashes that barrier, high performance for cheap.
Makes bikepacking more accessible. Second, weight reduction. Often homemade gear can be lighter. You control the materials, strip out unnecessary features, tailor it exactly to your needs.
No manufacturer compromises for mass appeal.
And third, that personal satisfaction. Huge pride using something you built that works perfectly in the wild. Connection to your gear, your trip, feels amazing.
And what's fascinating is how DIY forces you to understand how gear works. Functionality, material.
Right, you're not just buying, you're learning.
Exactly. Empowers you to customize, repair, troubleshoot in the field.
Oh.
Invaluable skill. Breeds self-reliance, a core bikepacking value. Let's look at some specific projects. A hammock. So ripstop nylon, add strong cord, carabiners. Basic sewing gets you a custom hammock, maybe under $20, often lighter than entry-level ones. Alex gets portability. Underquilt. Slice up an old synthetic bag or cheap down comforter. Add shock cords. Boom, cheap hammock insulation. Recycle old gear, stay warm. Beats cold butt syndrome.
A tarp. Tyvek house wrap, surprisingly good. Or polycryo sheeting. Duct tape corners. Add paracord guy lines. Federlight rainfly. Tyvek gets softer with use too.
I've seen those Tyvek tarps. They work.
Yeah. Simple bivy. Tape or sew Tyvek or a space blanket into a sack. Not breathable like Gore-Tex, but effective emergency shelter or bug moisture barrier in good conditions. And a basic sleeping pad. Snip, a closed-cell foam yoga mat to size. Budget cushion, basic insulation. Rigid, too, can double as pack stiffener.
Those are some brilliant, accessible hacks. But the golden rule of DIY, cannot skip this. Test your creations at home first.
Absolutely critical.
Trust me, you do not want a DIY fail miles from anywhere. Pitch that tarp in the yard, hit it with the sprinkler, sleep in that DIY hammock overnight, test the bivy and do.
Work out the kinks. Ensure it functions. Make adjustments before you rely on it. Your comfort, your safety depends on it.
Seriously.
That testing phase is non-negotiable. Builds confidence not just in the gear, but in your ability to make it work, to fix it. Fosters that deep self-reliance.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does it mean for you, listening? For Alex, back at that Sierra campsite. They can roll their gear, maybe grinning, thinking of all these options we just discussed. Tent, hammock, bivy, tarp, maybe even a hut down the trail. Each has its magic, its quirks. The trick isn't finding the one best system. There isn't one. It's picking what fits your ride. The weather you expect, the terrain, how cozy you want to be.
It's personal, trip-specific.
Exactly. What works for a fast desert trip is different from a wet, buggy forest tour. Alex. They chose a hybrid. Lightweight tarp, minimalist bivy, adaptable bug protection, not too bulky for the climbs. Reminds me of a story. Alex, one trip, totally forgot their tent poles. Non-freestanding tent. Panic.
Ouch.
But drawing on that bikepacking resourcefulness, MacGyvered some poles from sturdy branches, used extra cord. Rough.
Yeah.
Yes, ideal. No, but it worked. Got through the night.
Adaptability in action. Making do.
Totally. Speaks to that spirit you develop out there. So whatever sleep system you choose, the core message, test it, pack it, leave no trace, this deep dive gives you the map of options. The real learning happens on the trail, putting it to the test, adapting, connecting.
And connecting that back, the choice isn't just about gear or comfort. It reflects your philosophy of adventure. How much do you value speed? Minimalism, comfort, self-reliance. It's about finding your sweet spot for each unique journey.
Makes you think about your priorities.
Exactly. Every choice is a conscious step in crafting your adventure.
So next time you're pedaling towards that sunset, legs tired, spirit high.
Yeah.
You'll drift off dreaming of the trail ahead, confident in your choices, ready for tomorrow. Happy bikepacking, friends.